Siema, Destroyer UBoat Hunter, czyli symulator niszczyciela. Tak mówiłem. Nagrywałem symulator łodzi powodnej. Teraz zaczynamy od niszczyciela. Ale najpierw zacznijmy od samouczka. To taka cierpienia rzecz. Taka troszeczkę się dłużej ładuje. W dodatku tam nie ma polski napisów w tym fragmencie łuczka. No używam wam po prostu to samo tu zdubbingować. I gra jest zajebista. Naprawdę tu czuć ten klimat, że faktycznie walczysz z łodzią powodną. To naprawdę czuć. To jest zajebiste. 20 minut najpierw program samouczek, a na następnym odcinku pokażę wam już temat gameplay. Ale będzie tylko 20 minut. A będzie krótszy, mniej więcej za 15 minut może. To tylko jeszcze dla nie będę musimy tak, musi tam jeszcze tą coś muszą poprawić. Ja tam mieszam na jakaś wam jeszcze ten tak zwany, jak to powiedzieć, sandboxa, to sandboxa, no właściwie właśnie się załadowała, też trzeba o.
The Battle of the Atlantic took place in the 1940s. During that time, most U-boats were still diesel-electric and so could not stay submerged for prolonged periods of time. Therefore, you're very likely to detect them on the surface using radar before they close in for the attack. Once a U-boat submerges, you can no longer detect it using radar, and you will have to use sonar instead. Unlike radar, the sonar of the 1940s had to be pointed in the appropriate direction in order to detect the enemy. Bear that in mind when you lose radar contact with the enemy, and, most importantly, remember this. Radar works only for surface contacts, while sonar works only for submerged contacts. Last but not least, the 1940 sonar also has a dead zone right under your destroyer, which is crucial to remember. The most important thing you need to understand, however, is that everything at sea is ruled by the compass. Consequently, every instrument, report, and command also refers to it. It works just like the clock, with 000 or 360 at the top, 090 on the right, 180 at the bottom, and 270 on the left. These three-digit codes are called bearings, and they refer to the cardinal points. 000 or 360 is the north, 090 is the east, 180 is the south, and 270 is the west. So, if there is a contact at bearing 090, it means that it is located east of our position. This system allows the crew to quickly exchange information regarding where the enemy has been detected, what course to take, and so on. Once you understand it, it quickly becomes second nature. In summary, the most important information for you will always be the position of the currently tracked enemy, which is given in bearings, which direction, and ranges, how far away from your position. The last thing you need to know is how to execute a successful depth charge attack. The problem consists in hitting a moving object in 3D space with a weapon that has a considerable delay between being fired and hitting the target.
Szkoda, że tu nie ma ustawiania czasu. Bomb wiadomych.
In general, the attack has to be made in such a way as to drop the depth charges with a lead ahead of the U-boat's bow. What is more, the depth charge fuse must be set for shallow, medium, or deep. Bear in mind that the deeper you set the fuse, the longer it takes the depth charges to reach the set depth. The optimal time to drop depth charges is calculated by an analog computer called the Tactical Range Recorder. It measures the speed of closing the distance between your destroyer and the target, and will help you to decide when to give the order to fire. Because of that, pay close attention to what the tutorial says about using the TRR. as it will make the difference between success and failure. In reality, the chances of hitting a U-boat with depth charges were rather slim, but due to the devastating effects that even close misses had on the submarine's morale, harassing and suppressing the U-boat was often enough to make its crew abandon further attack attempts, at least for some time. Now that you understand the most essential facts about anti-submarine warfare in the Second World War, you can proceed with the tutorial.
Mam nadzieję, że dodadzą tutaj... Widać wysoko łóżku Hunter. Ustaw prędkość na standard.
All engines ahead standard.
All engines ahead standard. Aye, sir.
Mam prędkość. Tu mam prędkość. Tu jest... Teraz mam tutaj tym. A, to mam.
All engines ahead 1/3.
All engines ahead
Teraz
1/3. Aye,
sterowanie.
sir.
Mamy tu jest nasz kompas. Tu mamy ile jeszcze na kurs. 5
Hard
stopni.
right rudder.
Hard right rudder.
Tu mam
Aye,
do
sir.
zera.
Rudder amidships.
Rudder amidships. Aye, sir.
25 stopni w prawo. Troszeczkę zajmuje, bo muszę troszeczkę to nawet to ustawiać. 20 stopni. Nie. To ma być w tą D. 20 stopni. To będzie
Rudder 20 degrees right.
Rudder 20 degrees right.
Mamy
Aye, sir.
ten kurs. Muszę pisać 0, 0, 0. Bo czasami mi się lubi mi się. A, ja mam inaczej, dobra, sorry. Mój błąd. O Jezu, zrobię jeszcze raz. 0, 0, 10.
New course 0 1 0.
Course 0 1 0. Aye, sir.
Teraz tu mamy ten o kontaktach, tu jest nasz kontakt.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 053. Range 3,200 yards.
Bridge combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing 053. Range 3,200 yards. I designate contact. Able. Time 06.
Teraz patrzcie, ile to się dzieje.
Contact able now bears 054. Range 3,000 yards.
Powoli się ustawiamy. Powolutku. 0.
Steady as she goes.
Aye. Steady on course 059.
Rudder.
Contact able now bears 054. Range 2,700 yards.
Steady as she goes.
Aye. Steady on course 058.
Ja się odzywam, a teraz powiedzieć, że ta gra w tej grze będzie się o wiele mniej,
5 degrees left.
mniej odzywaj.
5 degrees left.
Contact able now bears 052. Range 2,200 yards.
Steady as she goes.
Aye. Steady on course
Yeah, that's
049.
All engines ahead 1/3.
All engines ahead 1/3. Aye, sir.
Może zegar? No tu też tu też daje, dobra, okej.
Contact able now bears 052. Range 1,800 yards.
LCD, czyli punkt dowódczy, tu mamy piksela, tak. Proszę bardzo, nawet pokażę jak to działa. Ja tu mniej więcej wiem, że muszę to nacelować. Proszę
Contact
bardzo, jak to działa,
able
można
now
zaznaczyć
bears
punkt.
051. Range 1,500 yards.
Proszę bardzo, i mam zaznaczone. Artyleria.
Contact able now bears 049. Niner, range 1,300 yards.
Start tracking contact. Target acquired. Fire. Load star shells. Target bearing 0, 0, 1. Relative. Range 1,100 yards.
Wracam do sonaru. Proszę bardzo, aktywny. Tyle nastawienia. Robota.
Combat sonar. New sonar contact. Bearing 038. Range 900 yards. Combat sonar. Contact.
Able. Now bears 038. Range 900 yards.
No i to jest ten. Tutaj muszę się ustawić do niego. Proszę bardzo, mam sonar. To.
Combat sonar. Contact.
Stawiam
Able.
tylko na
Now
linii.
bears 038. Range 900 yards.
Używałem torpedy, używałem bomby.
All engines ahead. 2/3. All engines ahead. 2/3.
Combat sonar.
Trzecia.
Contact. Able. Now bears 039. Range
To nie ja tego ustawiałem, to
900
bot to
yards.
ustawia. Jakby co? To wszystko dzieje automatycznie. Słuchajcie, jak do kogo chodzi.
Combat sonar. Contact. Able. Now bears 039.
Do tego,
Range
do tego
700
Jonesa.
yards. Combat sonar.
Raz, dwa,
Contact.
trzy.
Able. Now bears
Tego tą przeciętą
039.
keskę, co to jest sam, to troszeczkę
400
inaczej.
yards.
A co tam było? No mi się wydawało. Teraz trzeba na spuście. Oczywiście mogę też rzucić spacją. Ja nie używam jeszcze kompletnie, nie będę używał, bo dowiedziałem się właśnie, że mogę użyć spacji.
Combat sonar. Contact. Able. Now bears
coś pokazała mi kulka.
039. Range 200 yards.
Popali ja strzucę. 3. Ile będzie po nim? 3. 2.
Combat sonar. Contact. Able. Now bears 039. Range 30 yards.
Fire 1.
Combat sonar. Lost contact. Able. Last bearing 039.
Fire 2.
Last range 30
bomber.
yards.
Fire 3.
Illuminate 0, 0, 1. Relative.
Contact, able, now bears 047. Range 1,100 yards.
Sonar. This is the captain. Perform active search. 317. Active search. 317.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 264. Range 3,500 yards.
Very strong propeller.
Bridge combat. New surface
Możecie
contact
sobie
from
poczytać.
radar. Bearing 264. Range
Taktyczne.
3,500 yards. I designate contact Baker. Time 012.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple regaining contact. Able, bearing 219, range 400 yards from Bloodhound.
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 189er. Range 2,900 yards.
Bridge combat. New surface contact from radar.
Ten
Bearing
najgorsze dla mnie.
189. Range 2,900 yards. I designate contact Charlie. Time 0:13.
Maple, reporting.
Contact Baker now bears
Poczekaj, coś mi
260,
się rozepsuło.
range 3,500 yards.
Black Cat reporting. Roger. Black Cat on the way to patrol area ahead of convoy.
Black Cat, this is Bloodhound. Attack contact, Charlie.
Roger. Black Cat attacking contact. Charlie.
Contact Baker now bears 259er, range
Okay, so that-
3,500 yards.
A teraz mam taktyki. Mają cały samouczek.
There are three elements that are absolutely crucial to U-boat tactics: speed, flanking, and the element of surprise. Let's begin with speed. A submerged U-boat is roughly as fast as the convoy, so it cannot effectively catch up on it from behind. It would first need to surface to make more speed, yet at the cost of being attacked by escort gunfire. Therefore, the most dangerous kind of enemy is the clever U-boat captain who approaches submerged from the front of the convoy, maintaining the element of surprise, unless you detect him with the sonar. Most enemy captains, however, will approach the convoy on the surface, for reasons already mentioned in the ASW 101 video. As for flanking, torpedoes had the highest chance of hitting the target when fired at the so-called broadside, i.e. not at the bow or the stern of the target, but at its side, which made for a much larger target. If you allow a U-boat to assume a flanking position within 1,500 yards of the convoy, and give it enough time at periscope depth, they will be able to shoot whole salvos of well-aimed torpedoes, potentially sinking a few merchant ships in one fell swoop. Also, the Wolfpack tactics used by U-boats were based on advantage in numbers in an attempt to swarm and overwhelm the escorts by attacking from multiple directions at the same time. This was supposed to create a shock effect and confuse the escorts by creating chaos and giving them more targets that they could handle at a time. In order to help you prevent that, here is a handful of tactical advice.
To pierwsza taktyka.
The best area for U-boats to attack from are the convoy flanks. Prevent them from sneaking into good firing positions, and convoy survivability will rise exponentially. U-boats approaching submerged from the front of the convoy can be a nasty surprise. Whenever possible, maintain at least minimal sonar coverage aimed towards the front of the convoy. If you manage to attack and suppress a U-boat long enough, it will stay submerged and will eventually end up behind the convoy. If that is the case, it will be almost impossible for it to catch up without surfacing, and its threat will have been nullified, at least for some time. Try to attack U-boats as far away from the convoy as possible. However, once they break through, make sure to recall your escorts, close the formation, and aggressively defend the flanks. The U-boats will attempt to exploit any holes in your defenses to get there and fire multiple torpedoes. So if any U-boats break through into this zone, attack them with all your might, or their torpedoes will start to wreak havoc in the convoy. Sooner or later, you will be able to determine the main vector of the attack. Once that happens, relocate more escorts there from the other flank of the convoy as soon as possible. Bear in mind that such formation changes will take a while, so try not to jump the gun, as it may cost you a lot of time later to reverse a bad decision. Whenever possible, attack a U-boat with more than one ship. Also, try coordinating your attacks with other escorts. Just watch out for collisions, and you will be fine. If multiple U-boats break through and swarm the convoy flanks, chaos will ensue and you will start losing ships. Don't panic and stay on your toes, as this is the most difficult time of the battle. When it comes, make sure your escorts are prioritizing the right targets, and try not to get lost in the entanglement. If you make it through this difficult part, you will most likely succeed in suppressing and repelling the enemy. If you start losing ships, don't panic. Check the radar or the tactical station in combat. Deduce where the torpedo may have come from, and make a strong presence in the area to prevent the U-boat from taking further shots on the convoy. Use air support to harass U-boats that are beyond your reach, or quickly relocate it to suppress multiple U-boats when they get dangerously close to the convoy's flank. Remember that air support will force a U-boat to submerge, thus preventing it from firing its torpedoes. Some U-boat captains will submerge and hide under the convoy, or even try to sneak to the other flank. This is a bad situation for you, as it is very dangerous to track and attack U-boats within the convoy due to a high probability of collisions. And lastly, be aggressive and do not let the enemy take the initiative. The longer you hesitate, the more time you are giving the U-boats to reach optimal firing positions and aim their torpedoes. Harass them, never let up, and focus all your assets to the fullest. That concludes the presentation of U-boat and escort tactics.
Proszę bardzo. Ja się go samouczek. A tyle odpowiedziałem do głównego zakończymy, więc tutaj zakończymy nasz odcinek z UBoat Huntera, więc subskrybujcie, lajkujcie. No cześć!